Hey everyone, welcome back to Drift and Drive. I'm Bree, your host, coming to you from Northern Virginia.
And I'm Elijah, broadcasting from downtown DC. We're the podcast that explores all the ups and downs of life on the road in the DMV area.
Today, we're tackling a topic that literally affects every single person listening to this show, DMV traffic. And let me tell you, Elijah and I have some seriously different takes on this one.
We absolutely do. So before we dive in, let's paint the picture for our listeners. Bree, remind everyone about your daily traffic reality.
Right. So I'm based in Fairfax County, which means my world revolves around Interstate 495, the infamous Beltway, Route 66, the Dulles Toll Road, all those major Virginia highways that basically funnel the entire Northern Virginia population into D.C. every morning.
Right, the suburban highway experience. Whereas I'm right here in the heart of DC, Northwest specifically. So my traffic reality is completely different. I'm dealing with narrow city streets, constant construction, diplomatic motorcades, and tourists who have absolutely no idea where they're going.
Ugh, God, the tourists. But you know what? Let's actually start with the positives here. What's one thing you genuinely appreciate about DC traffic?
You know what I love? Options. When traffic gets absolutely brutal, I can jump on Metro. I can walk to a lot of places. I can take a short rideshare trip. When I lived further out in the suburbs before moving to DC, I felt completely trapped in my car. There was literally no other way to get anywhere.
That's actually really fair.
Plus, once you figure out the patterns, DC traffic is actually pretty predictable. Rush hours and 10s from like 7 to 9:30 a.m., and then again from about 4:30 to 7 p.m. But outside those windows, getting around the city is honestly not that bad.
Okay, I can see that. From the Virginia perspective, I actually think our traffic situation has made me incredibly strategic about time management. Like, I know exactly how long it takes to get anywhere at any time of day. I've become this master scheduler out of pure survival necessity.
Yeah, survival skills for sure.
And honestly, some of my best thinking happens during my commute. I've solved work problems, planned out entire conversations, figured out what to cook for dinner, all while sitting in traffic on the Beltway. It's like this forced meditation time where you can't do anything else but think.
That's actually kind of zen when you put it that way. I never thought about it like that. But okay, let's get real here. What absolutely drives you crazy about Virginia traffic?
Oh man, where do we even begin? The complete unpredictability kills me. I can leave at exactly the same time for a whole week, and Monday takes me 35 minutes, while Tuesday inexplicably takes me an hour and 20 minutes. Like, what magical traffic fairy decided Tuesday was going to be hell?
Right? Exactly.
And don't get me started on the aggressive drivers. I swear, you put a perfectly normal human being behind the wheel on 495 and they transform into some kind of road rage monster. The tailgating, the weaving between lanes at like 85 miles per hour, the horn honking, it's legitimately terrifying sometimes.
The aggressive driving thing is so real everywhere in the DMV. But you know what makes me absolutely lose my mind about DC specifically? The parking situation combined with the traffic nightmare. Like, okay, you somehow survive the drive downtown without having a mental breakdown, and then you have to find parking that costs more than most people spend on lunch.
Oh my God, the parking costs are insane.
$28 to park downtown for 3 hours? It's absolutely ridiculous. And then there's the construction situation. I'm convinced every single street in DC is under construction simultaneously. They never seem to coordinate these projects, so you avoid one construction zone and immediately hit another one 2 blocks away.
The construction coordination thing makes me so angry. It's like they purposefully wait until one road is completely finished before they start tearing up every possible alternate route. And here's what really gets me about Virginia traffic: the weather panic response. Any hint of precipitation, and suddenly everyone collectively forgets how to operate a motor vehicle.
Oh my God, yes, the weather thing.
A light drizzle transforms my normal 45-minute commute into a 2-hour nightmare of brake lights and accidents. We live in Virginia. We should theoretically know how to handle basic weather conditions by now.
I think part of the problem is that we have people from literally everywhere in the country living here, so everyone learned to drive in completely different conditions and weather patterns. But what really frustrates me about DC traffic is how it completely controls your entire social life.
Totally.
Like, I have literally turned down dinner invitations because I knew the drive there and back would take longer than the actual dinner itself. Or when you're trying to make plans with friends, everyone has to coordinate around rush hour timing. Your social calendar becomes this complex traffic logistics operation.
That is so true. But you know what's interesting? I think dealing with Virginia traffic has actually made me a more patient person in other areas of my life. If you can sit calmly on the Beltway for 2.5 hours because of some random accident, you can handle pretty much anything else life throws at you.
That's actually a really positive way to reframe it. I should definitely adopt that mindset. But can we talk about the financial aspects for a minute? Between gas prices, tolls, and parking, driving around here is incredibly expensive.
Ugh, don't even get me started on the toll situation. I probably spend close to $200 a month just on Easy Pass charges. The express lanes on Route 66 can be like $18 one way during peak rush hour. You're literally paying a premium just to avoid sitting in traffic.
Exactly, and that creates this really weird economic divide, where people with more disposable income can literally buy their way out of traffic while everyone else is stuck suffering in the regular lanes. It doesn't seem very equitable when you think about it.
Wow, I honestly never thought about it from that perspective. But you're absolutely right. It's like a fast pass system at Disney World, except it's for your basic daily commute to work.
Exactly. But here's something I'm really curious about. Do you think the overall situation is actually getting better or worse over time? Because it feels like every year there's some big new transportation initiative or infrastructure project announced, but I'm honestly not sure I'm seeing real improvements.
It's such a complicated mixed bag. On one hand, the technology improvements are absolutely incredible. The traffic apps we have now are total game changers. Being able to see accidents in construction in real time and get instant alternate route suggestions has definitely saved me hours and hours over the years.
Yeah, the apps are amazing.
But at the same time, the fundamental underlying problem is that more and more people keep moving to this area every single year. More cars, same basic road infrastructure. So even with all these technological improvements and new projects, we're kind of running to stay in place.
That's so true. And the pandemic actually gave us this fascinating glimpse of what traffic could potentially be like with fewer people commuting every day. Those first few months of 2020, driving around the city was almost pleasant. It felt like a completely different place.
Oh my God, it was absolutely magical. I could get from my house all the way to downtown DC in like 22 minutes. 22 minutes! But now that everyone's back in office buildings, we're right back exactly where we started.
Maybe that's actually the real long-term solution. More flexible remote work arrangements and hybrid schedules. But I know that's not realistic for a lot of jobs and industries.
Right, exactly. But honestly, even with all my complaining and frustration, there's something weirdly familiar and comforting about DMV traffic that I've grown attached to over the years. When I travel to other cities and their traffic patterns are completely different, I almost find myself missing our predictable chaos.
That's hilarious, but I completely understand what you mean. It's like Stockholm Syndrome for commuters.
Ha! Exactly. So as we start to wrap up here, Elijah, what would be your number one piece of advice for people who are struggling with DMV traffic?
Embrace flexibility as your survival strategy. Always have multiple backup routes planned, keep snacks and water in your car, download some really good podcasts, hopefully including this one, and just accept that sometimes you're going to be late to things. The stress and road rage honestly isn't worth it.
I love that advice. Mine is similar. Definitely plan ahead, but also plan to stay flexible when things inevitably go wrong. And most importantly, find ways to make your drive time actually enjoyable and productive. Call a friend, listen to music or audiobooks, practice mindfulness, turn it into something positive instead of just dead time that makes you angry.
Perfect advice. Well, that's our take on DMV traffic from both the Virginia suburbs and DC city perspectives. Thanks so much for joining us on Drift and Drive today, everyone.
Next week, we're diving into the psychology of road rage, why perfectly normal, reasonable people turn into absolute maniacs the moment they get behind the wheel. You definitely don't want to miss that episode. Until then, drive safe out there, DMV.